More than 200 teenagers descended on this public pool outside of Chicago earlier this month as these flash mobs of hundreds of teens are causing businesses and public areas across the nation to close.
Go home. Property is closed.
Okay.
Go home. Property is closed. Just set off fireworks out here. 12:31. Can you send me 5 more cars, please? I need 5 more cars to Sunset Pool. Everybody out here going to jail. Everybody out or you're going to jail.
Our next guest says it can be explained because this generation of teenagers has been raised as the me generation. Joining us now is family therapist, former high school counselor for 25 years and author of Raising Healthy Teenagers, Tom Kersting. Thank you so much, Tom, for coming on.
That's my pleasure.
So what do you mean by that, the me generation?
I see this at my gym, Ainsley, right? So if you go up to a machine and there's a young person on their phone and they're sitting there taking up the space and you go up to them and say, oh, excuse me, I'm almost done with the machine, they give you an attitude.
Right.
So it's a lot of, this generation, the trophy generation, the instant gratification generation. They are so accustomed to having everything they want when they want it that you become entitled.
Right. I mean, what do we do about this? Because what's happening is it's spreading on social media. They find out everyone congregate at this pool. They're bringing alcohol, they're bringing vapes and cigarettes, and then the police have to get involved because 300 people will show up.
That's the other part of it. It's the social media. This whole culture has become a social media-driven culture. And young kids, they're taking videos of all this stuff, right, just so they could chase those likes and those streaks and this and that. Furthermore, with social media, the more that you're exposed to things that are, unruly or criminal-like behavior, the more your brain begins to normalize that. You don't see it as a big deal. So like 200 kids showing up at a pool and being unruly, to them, they're entitled, number one.
Right.
I'm not sure what's going on in their households, but there's certainly not, rigid rules and so forth. And they also just don't see it as there being anything wrong because who cares about everybody else? It's about me.
Right, right. This happened in Illinois. There were the 200, 300 teens that showed up at that public pool. Out on Long Island, 500 teenagers showed up at a beach. There were fights, overcrowding, a shooting, and then the beach had to close. 300 teens showed up at a shopping center in Brentwood, California. There were fights, knocking items off the shelves. So you say this is a cultural breakdown. What can we do as parents to teach our children to avoid these areas because it could end up in danger, or how to treat adults when you are confronted?
Yeah, so, first and foremost, it starts in the household, right? And we got to get back to a culture where families are having dinner together, where we're teaching our kids about things like faith, integrity, and values, right? And guiding them. Because essentially what they're doing is a reflection of what we're doing or not doing. So it's got to start there. And also, I've written books about this stuff. You have to delay all of the social media, all that stuff, all that superficial stuff that kids are consuming, and it's becoming their reality. We got to delay that, till like late adolescence, the earliest.
Right. Why do you think this generation is that way? I know I'm a parent. I parent differently than my parents do. Is it because we were spanked, we were disciplined so much that maybe we're more lenient on our children?
Yeah, well, it's definitely that. Like I talked about the trophy generation, and I remember when I worked at the high school, this happened more than once. A student would curse out a teacher.
What?
And the
Call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kal Chodash. Don't want to see the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, all right, to teach this truth, all right, in sincerity, all right. And peace and salutations to you, Akiel, all right, teaching the truth in the four corners of the earth, man. All right, and Salakia, I let the video play a little bit longer than I expected, because I was in them comments, man, listening to Esau, man. Esau hates you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. He hates you regardless, but when he see you, you 2/3, man, you really, what's the saying? You really get him going, man. You really, push his buttons, man. you know, and that's all you see, in the comments now, man. Every time it's a controversial video, you have an Edomite going and say what's really on his chest, say what's really what he been bearing down the whole time. He can get on that keyboard and turn into a keyboard devil, And these are the same, Edomites that you work with, all right, that you do business with, you know. But America has it, in this society that, people have to act accordingly, you know. Otherwise, you can get discrimination lawsuits, your so-called reputation will be ruined, if you are perceived as an outward, racist, you know. So these Edomites kind of tuck tail, when they walk in the streets or when they at work. But when they get home, boy, they gonna let you have it. All right. But this lesson is going into you two-third nigglets, man. Okay, and I probably won't even be able to put it like that on the title. I'm gonna have to put two-third ninjas, you know. You two-third nigglets, man. All right. You gonna be put to death as well, man. Okay? You're gonna be put to death as well, all right? As well as the the adults of the two-thirds, man. Okay? Because you clearly, all right, are that degenerate vine that the Most High speaks of, man. Okay? Because you always into folly and wickedness, man. All right, and you always want to be on camera while you do it, you know, to get even more dirt on you. All right, and get multiple witnesses, on your iniquity, man. All right, and it's terrible, that it always got to be Esau to be the one to say, look at these niggas, you know, because we're talking about the fucking devil, man. All right, the caveman of the earth. All right, death and hell. He's pointing his finger at Jake, man. All right, which he's the damn accuser. He's always gonna accuse Israel. All right, he does it with us as well. Okay, because persecution is gonna come on all of Israel, man. All right, Jacob trouble is for everybody. You know, they ain't gonna say them Edomites ain't gonna say, oh no, we're not gonna imprison you. You're not a two-third. You one of the hopeful elect. Man, hell no. You know. Now in some instances, hey, the Most High can do whatever. He can have a centurion have a change of heart and let you make it. You know, while holding everybody else back with the M16, man. This is a highly spiritual thing. You know. But yeah, man, Jacob's trouble is gonna come for all of Israel, man. You know. But you two-third Jakes, man, you got it coming, man. And you don't even know, Esau is setting a trap for you. That's why Esau is recording all the wickedness and all of the folly, that you are doing in the planet Earth right now, man. You women are nasty. You're nasty. All right? And that's all you tribes. You Negro, Latino, Native American women are disgusting, man. Okay? You in Lululemon twerking your funky ass. All right? You make all you make all these extremely sexual, perverse songs and shit. All right, especially you 304s, man. I'm talking about like Sexy Red, man. That motherfucker is a straight up psyop, bro. If you hear the shit that she say, it's like the perfect shit that a devil, would tell a B Dub to say on a national platform, man. Like to indoctrinate the people, man. All right, to multiply wickedness through the earth, man. The foul shit that comes out of that disgusting roach's mouth, man. But our people are blind to that, man. All right, even the 304 music is trash, straight trash, man. No talent at all. Out of all of them, she's the worst. All right. And she's still being, pushed, all right, by this devil, man, for a reason. All right. You see that she tried to go on tour, this nasty, wretched whore. Oh shit, that shit gonna get flagged. Salakia. You know, you see when she tried to go on tour, she couldn't even sell out no shows, man. When nobody even buying tickets to go see that garbage, you know. But they will take on the philosophies, man. They will take on, that wickedness, man. All right, because it's popular. All right, it's still big on social media. All right, it's the cool thing to do. All right, the cool thing to do in Babylon is always wicked. Remember that. You know, this is Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Okay? So the scripture saying the Lord said unto him, go through the midst, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, man. Talking about Israel, man. Okay? You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right. It set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that signed that cry. All right. So that mark is Tawa. All right. The mark of exemption, man. Okay. That's preserved for the 144,000 and the 1/3 of Israel over here in America, man. All right. Those are the ones that are going to be receiving that mark. Okay. That's the good mark. All right. That's the mark you want to have. Okay, and it's saying in Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 5, and to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity, man. Okay, so them angels gonna have the spirit on them, man. All right, Yahweh Shai's gonna have the spirit on him. Okay, he's not gonna care if you're a little baby. Okay, it doesn't matter if you. Hey, we're just gonna go into the next verse. It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. All right, but the scriptures say, slay utterly old and young. All right, both maids and little children and women. So hold up. You can't hit a woman. You should never. If a woman hits you, you shouldn't hit her back. Hold up. Put the woman first. All this bullshit. The scripture said the Most High is gonna slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. So it ain't gonna be no exemptions to this judgment that's gonna come, man. Okay. The Most High's judgment is gonna go throughout the earth, man. All right, and it's already happening now. You young Jakes. I'm talking about Jake is my goodness, man. They Clone Tyrone is. I'm talking about. That's the most slept on movie ever. Literally, man. For you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, I know the Sinners movie was hey, it was good and spiritual too. But that They Clone Tyrone, man. I'm talking about how can you watch that movie and still continue to go and be a nigga, man? You know, still go and do the things that you see that Esau put in front of your face and told you to do and created you, nigga. you know. But that's hey, man. The Most High makes these movies, all right, for the people in the know, man. All right, because hey, this whole thing, man. All right, all these prophecies, all right, and principalities that are set up, and these different kings, all right, these different governments, all right, building they military might, building their nuclear missiles, okay, our plight, all right, going into captivity. This is all the Most High's movie, man. All right, and it's all under His control. Okay, so of course it's gonna be truth, in these movies that this devil is putting out, man. Okay, 'cause, hey, he's tapped in, but he's tapped in on that left hand side, man. All right, we are tapped in on the right hand side. Okay, so we can see what the hell he's doing. These other people, they hey, these people, man, they say they spiritual, all right, but do the most wicked carnal shit in the planet Earth, man. You know, that's these 2/3, man. These degenerate minds. You know, you have a woman say, "Oh, I don't believe in I'm not a Christian. I'm spiritual." If you spiritual, why you covered head to toe in tattoos? If you spiritual, why didn't you lose your virginity to a man? All right, and stay with that man. Okay, if you so down spiritual, if you spiritual, why the hell you eat pork, shrimp, crab, and suck oysters and shit? All right, you people are full of shit, man. So the scriptures say, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary, man. Okay? So the elect men are gonna be saved from this wrath, man. All right, saved from those chariots. All right, shooting down concentrated fire. All right, saved, from those ICBM missiles, man. Okay, but you 2/3, man. Hey, you gotta go. All right, simple as that. But shalom.